two, one, two, three.
Welcome to this introduction to Lindy Hop, the original swing dance. Lindy Hop began in the ballrooms of Harlem, New York during the late 1920s. The Lindy Hop evolved from the soulful and creative expressions of African American dancers. Lindy Hop combines 6-count, 8-count, and Charleston rhythms, along with the traditional jazz movements of the era. It was and continues to be a dance filled with joyful abandonment. This video will start your journey towards the thrill of connecting with your partner and expressing the music.
We will begin at the foundation of all social dancing, leading and following. After this introduction, we add the footwork and numerous turns and variations of 6-count swing. Be patient. We start slowly, but we accelerate the pace of learning as we progress through the tape. Please take the time to pause throughout the video to practice the techniques and steps you are learning. Most importantly, don't forget to have a good time, look at each other, and smile.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, my name is ChrisYee. I'm part of Swing Out Chicago.
My name is Julie Mertz, and I'm part of Big City Swing. And we are lucky enough to be dancing to the music of Tui Connell and members of the Chicago Jump Company. Tui is on guitar and Michael Rayner on drums, Ken Haybeck on bass, and Edward Connell on keyboard.
Before we begin our instructional video on dance, I just want to say how important it is that we have such wonderful music behind us, because it's what makes us go on the dance floor. Never forget to appreciate your DJs or musicians on the dance.
Absolutely.
Okay, what we're going to begin with is a little bit of posture and the feeling of how the dance goes.
Yep, what's consistent throughout swing and Lindy Hop is a posture which brings your weight forward onto the front of your feet. So you want to check that by just lifting off your heels just a little bit. And you want to also want to relax so that your arms are by your side and your shoulders are relaxed. And you want to bend a little bit at the hips, so that brings also your shoulders forward. Because throughout the dance, you want to have a forward feeling or your energy always going towards your partner. And the last bit is to really also relax the knees, so that you can kind of get a bounce and a groove with the music.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and go across from each other, your partner. And what we're going to do is get that posture and that little bounce, and we're going to step from one side to the other side, from one side to the other side. And we're going to count to 8. On 1, leaders, you're going to begin with your left foot.
And follows, you're going to step down onto your right foot.
What we're trying to do right now is really just synchronize our footsteps, okay? So go ahead and look at each other. Here we go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and step, 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 step.
You want to try and maintain that balance so each step is completely relaxed and steps all the way through your foot into the ground.
Give your partner a look from time to time. Make sure you're stepping exactly at the same time and have a nice, easy bounce. Okay, leaders and followers, as we call them, we're going to go ahead and walk towards each other. And leaders, what we're going to do is take our right hand and place it into the middle of the follower's back.
Follows, you're going to take your left hand and place it on his shoulder.
For the left hand, leaders, you're just going to go ahead and place it by your hip.
And follows, take your right hand fingers together and place it in his.
All right, let's just hang out here with the music for a little bit. All right, boys, hit it. If you'd like to move around a little bit, you can go ahead and try that.
Now follows, with any type of turning, you want to stay parallel to your partner. So if he starts to begin to move, you want to adjust your orientation so that you're always in front of him.
Great, thank you. We're going to go ahead and move on to the different types of positions that there are in swing dancing. There are 2 positions. First is an open position, where you're only holding hands. And the next is a closed position that we talked to you about before, in which your hand's on her back, and you have a hand connection here.
And follows, once again, your left hand is on his right shoulder.
Okay. So leaders, what we're thinking about when we're in closed position are two basic points of connection. One on the right hand on the hand, and one at the forearm. And what you're going to see is my hand goes on the middle of her back, and my forearm touches the side of her body.
And follows, you want to kind of communicate that to your partner. Let him know if you feel both of those pressures, one in the middle of your back and one at your side. And if you don't feel that, if there's space between your back and his hand, what you want to do is take a few steps back to make sure that your weight is still over your toes and that you are filling his arm.
Yes. In open position, our position is going to be the leader's hand about at her waist level.
And follows, you're going to rest, again, your fingers in his hands, and your elbows are going to be away from your side.
Great. So those are the two positions. What we're going to talk about now is the most important thing of swing dancing, or dancing in general, and that is the lead and the follow. When I refer to the lead, that means that the leaders are actually applying a physical pressure to the follower's body. Leaders, your job in dancing is to tell the followers exactly where you want her weight to be, whether you want it to be on one side, or the other side, or backwards, or forwards. And that all is determined upon physical pressures. And we're going to talk about first stepping side to side for the leaders. Leaders, what you want to do is use your forearm here to push her to your left side. And when you want to take her to the right side, you're going to go ahead and use your hand and pull her to the right side. So it's going to look like this. Forearm on the side and hand on her back. Go ahead and move her to one side and then pull her to the other side. Push her to one side and then take her to the other side.
Follows, it's important that you learn to listen for this pressure and not to jump ahead. I know that when I first started social dancing, the hardest part was to let go of the control and really let the leaders do their job, and that is to lead. So what we do is when we feel that pressure to the side, let the pressure build and then change your weight completely onto the right foot, and as he pulls to the other direction, it changes again completely onto the left. You don't want to stand double weighted or with your weight on both feet and just rock back and forth.
As you practice this at home, you can actually try to see if the weight is committed by placing her on one foot and letting go. And if she stays on that foot, then she has completely changed her weight. If, on the other hand, she falls back down and stays in the middle, then she hasn't completed her weight. So followers really try to focus on completing your weight change.
So I think what we'll do now is have the leaders practice leading this momentum side to side. What you're going to do is start with your weight follows on your left foot. Leaders, you're going to start with your weight on your right, so that as you give the first leads, you're going to push her onto the right foot. And like we said, this is just a drill. So leads, you can go ahead and leave your feet still and just practice changing the follower's weight.
Okay, let's try this together. We'll count you 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll start. Leaders, again, don't move your feet, just try to move her feet. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Move, step, 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 step. Good. Now with music, let's go ahead and do 4 times, stepping to the side, to the side, to the side, to the side, where the leaders don't move their feet at all. And then after the 4th time, we'll join her on the 5th one. Again, the purpose of this is to really make sure that leaders, you're telling the followers where to step. Okay.
And follows, you don't want to jump ahead of the lead. Make sure you feel the pressure first and then react with a change of weight.
Here we go. And a 5, 6, a 5, 6, 7, and a step. Step, step. Now we join in. And step, 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 step. Each time I'm stepping, I'm making sure that she goes first and I follow her. Great. Thank you, you guys. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to a different direction. So now we did side to side, and now what leaders you need to be able to do is tell the follower to go backwards, or my backwards, her forwards.
My forward.
Okay, and her backwards, okay? The way we're going to do that, again, is through a pressure at the forearm on the side of her body, and my hand on her back. If I'd like her to step towards me, and I'm stepping backwards, then I'm going to use my hand and give her some pressure on her back. That indicates to her that her body should come forward with mine. Now if I'm going to go the other way, which is a little bit more tricky, I'm going to place my forearm on the side of her body, give her a little pressure sideways, and give her a push back.
There's a couple things follows need to think about when they are stepping back. And that is, remember in the beginning we talked about the dance always having a forward feeling, that you want to keep your weight on your toes. So as he pushes you back, you want to step back onto the ball of your foot. You don't want to first roll onto your heels and then take a step back. What will happen is it makes you feel like a heavy leader or heavy follower, and often what happens is it takes too long and you fall behind the music. So what you're going to do once again is, as he applies the pressure to the side, you want to keep your same posture and step back onto the ball of the foot, keeping your body forward.
Yes. It's the same true for leaders. Leaders, you will always be on the balls of your feet, regardless if you step backwards or forwards. You will always be on the balls of your feet. Okay? So let's go ahead and try this. Leaders, what we're going to do is step back first with our left foot, but first we're going to lead her forward, and she's going to step on her right foot. Okay? So go ahead and go into closed position. Leaders, think about the hand on her back, and when you decide to step backwards on your left foot, also have the pressure on her back to make her step forward. We'll give you a count of 8. We'll step back 4 times and then go ahead and step forward 4 times. And we'll cue you on that change. We'll do it without music first, and then we'll go ahead and do it with music. 5, 6, 7, 8. Step. 2, 3. Now change. 1, 2, 3. Now change. 1, 2, 3. Now change. 1, 2, 3. Now stop. Okay?
As we move through the transition between directions, we continue to alternate feet. For example, followers step onto the left, wait for the lead, then step back onto the right. And when we step back, we continue to step onto the balls of our feet.
Leaders, watch how my steps coincide exactly with her steps. I give the lead, she begins to move, then I step down at the same time she does. Okay, so let's try that with music?
Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do is actually begin by doing 8 steps side, 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 side. Since you already know how to lead that, we're going to start with the left foot again. Okay, we'll do 8 of those, and then we'll go ahead and do 8 steps back, or 4 steps back, 4 steps forward, 4 steps back, 4 steps forward, and then repeat 8 again in the center.
And it's important for the follows not to listen to what we're saying as verbal cues, but you really want to begin to listen to your leader. So let's say he decides to do a different number of side to side or a different number front and back. That's fine. Just follow him and really learn to become sensitive to the leads, the pressures on your body.
Okay, let's go ahead and start. Go ahead and go in closed position. Get that groove, little bounce. And we'll tell you when to step to the side. Here it comes. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, now step. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, now backwards. 1, 2, 3, now forward. 1, 2, 3, now backward. 1, 2, 3, now forward. 1, 2, 3, now side. Now back, and 1, 2, 3, now change. Now change. Now side. Beautiful. Okay, what we ask you guys to do is actually take a chance during the video and stop the video so you can try this on your own. And for leaders, it's particularly important that you don't actually tell her beforehand how many steps you're going to take, so she can actually feel your leads on her side of her body and on her back.
And another good exercise is to actually have the followers close their eyes so they learn to really trust their leader and to listen with the pressures on the body. That way, she can't read lips, she can't see him moving forward and backwards. She really has to listen to the lead.
Now we're going to talk about open position and how to lead in open position. First, you're going to take your hand and place it at her waist level.
Follows, extend your hand and place it in his.
And there's going to be 2 points of connection. One's going to be at the fingertips and one at the palm. One at the fingertips and one at the palm. When you're swing dancing, you always want to be aware of these 2 connections. Again, at the fingertips and then one towards the palm.
For followers, it's important to maintain that shape so that there is space between the points of connection. If you close off your hand, there's no space and you won't feel a difference between the signals.
Yes. Another thing that's important for followers is that your wrist stays down rather than up. If it's up like this and I try to push against her palm, then I'll continue to go. And I want to have a little bit of a stop there. So followers, make sure that your wrist is angled down so I can press against follower's palm. Now, the job for the leader is to be able to tell the follower through her arm, going to her body and to her feet, exactly where he wants her feet to be. And in order for that to occur, she must have frame.
Follows, you're going to use your frame by keeping your arm as still as possible, meaning you don't want it to change shape by either elongating or going behind your back. So what you're going to do is present an opposing pressure to the one that he is giving. For instance, if he's pressing into your palm, you want to resist back with opposite pressure enough to keep your arm in the same shape. You're not trying to overcome and force him back or change his momentum. Again, you're just concentrating on your frame and letting the pressure build between the back of his hand and your palm. Likewise, if he's pulling at your fingertips, you want to pull back with enough pressure to again keep your arm in the same position. We're not trying to pull him forward, which would involve breaking our frame by bending the elbow. You just want to meet with equal pressure so that there is force that starts to build up at the fingertips.
In swing dancing, it's very important that you feel an increase of force, either at the palm or at the fingertips. And what we're going to do right now is an exercise to feel this frame. And the way we're going to do that is by taking your hand and both of us leaning towards each other. And what you'll see is that our arms are not bending anymore. What you don't see is there's increase in pressure at the palm. Now as we go away from each other and lean away, again our arms do not bend, but there's an increase of pressure at the fingertips. And again, it's very important to feel these 2 pressures, one at the fingertips and one at the palm, one at the fingertips and one at the palm. Great. Now that we have this understanding of the frame, leaders, what we're going to do is go ahead and create a little bit of tension at the fingertips. And we're going to go ahead and step backwards with our left starting and her right foot starting. This is purely out of convention. I can't really tell her that. So leaders, go ahead and place your weight on your right foot and followers your weight on your left foot. And we're going to step back 4 times and step forward 4 times. Okay? Let's try this together. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, now 4, change. 1, 2, 3, now change, and 1.
You'll notice follows
2,
as he's pulling.
3, now change.
I am giving the opposite pressure even if he's pushing to keep my arm in the same position.
Yes. So let's go ahead and try this with music. Just as we did in closed position, we're going to start with 8 side to sides, and then go backwards for 4, and then go forwards for 4, go backwards for 4, and forwards to 4, and then 8 again.
Follows, once again, really pay attention to the lead, not just our verbal cues.
Get that bounce. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, now left, right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, now back, and 1, 2, 3, now 4, and I feel the pressure, 2, 3, other way, pressure, 2, 3, 4, and pressure, 2, 3, now side, and 1. 5, 6, 7, now back, and 1, 2, 3, change the pressure, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, now the pressure, 1, 2, 3, now stop. Thank you.
So now that we've had a chance to focus on leading and following, we're going to turn the focus now to the footwork of swing. And it's a 6-count dance, which means the counts are 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 5, hold 6. 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 5, hold 6. But if you're not into counting or the numbers kind of are intimidating, sometimes it's easier just to sing the rhythm, which goes quick, quick, slow, slow. Quick, quick, slow, slow. Quick, quick, slow, slow. And a quick, quick, slow, slow. And it may seem silly at first to go ahead and say that out loud, even if you don't have a band behind you saying it with you. But it's really important to get it in your head so that it will translate a lot easier down to your feet. It keeps you on track, so don't be bashful about stopping the tape, rewinding, and saying it again with us.
Yeah. Even when you're going ahead and doing it with us, it's very good to say it along with your footwork, so it helps you to stay on the right foot. Just know that each time you say a word, whether it's quick, quick, or slow, it's a change of weight. And we'll go ahead and show you that with our feet. One thing before we move on with our feet, I want to say that there's 2 aspects of the dance. There's a lead and follow and the rhythm. And we talked about the lead and follow, and now the rhythm, and later on we're going to put it together, and it's going to make a lot of sense.
We promise. So what we're going to do is actually get ready to learn the footwork, and I'll go through the followers' footwork first. Follows on the quick, quick, you're going to take a step back with your right foot onto the ball of the foot. That's your first quick. And on the second quick, push yourself forward. On the first slow, step down on the right foot. And on the second slow, step down on the left. So up to tempo, it's a quick, quick, slow, slow, or a right, left, left.
For leaders, we're going to do exactly the opposite. We're going to begin with our left foot stepping backwards onto the ball of our foot. Quick, quick, and step forward, then to the left, and then the right. So back, forward, left, right, and back, forward, left, right.
So now we'll try it together. A 6, 7, and a quick, quick, slow, slow.
And a quick, quick, slow,
slow, and a quick, quick, slow, slow, and a quick, quick, slow, slow. And before we do it with music, you'll notice that each step involves the bounce. So you're not stepping back onto your heel with a straight leg. You want to bounce through each of those steps using that swing posture we talked about in the beginning of the tape. With music?
Absolutely.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A 5, 6, 7, and a quick, quick, slow, slow. And a quick, quick, slow, slow. Quick, quick, slow, slow.
Good. Now we're going to try it once more, and you'll see from the side that our back steps are quite small. You're not taking a large back step where you're going to step back onto your heel. Notice that both Chris and I just step behind the front foot and think of rebounding forward. Like we said before, you always want to think of keeping your weight forward and your energy towards your partner. Should we try it facing each other?
Yeah, let's go ahead and face each other and start again with the music.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A 5, 6, 7, and a quick, quick, slow, slow. Quick, quick, slow, slow. Notice the clean change of weight that we're actually able to pick up our feet each time we step.
2 more. And the last one, a quick, quick, slow, and stop. All right, I think it's time to put it together.
Yes. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and start in closed position once again. And just to review, we're going to have our hand about in the middle of her back.
Follows your left hand is on his shoulder.
And the way we're going to initiate this first step back for the followers is by using the forearm against the side of her body. Once we give her that push back, immediately we need to have our hand to stop her and return her back forward for that rock step. It will look like this: back, forward. And again, back, forward. And then the 2 sides, side, side. And leaders, what we're going to do is just practice the lead, giving her the pressures on her body first, and then go ahead and join in with her. But let's just try it with her. We'll do 4 in a row, just the leaders leading her with no footwork himself. So go ahead and find that pressure on the side of her body and your hand on her back. And 5, 6, 5, 6, 7. Push her back step, side, side. Again, back step, side, side. Again, back step, side, side. And a back step, side, side.
Good. Follows. Once again, you want to make sure that you're moving with a pressure. Don't try to anticipate it because you know the footwork. Each time I'm waiting for the pressure first at my side to put me back, and then the pull that brings me forward, and then the pressure that takes me side, and then returning.
Yes. In swing dancing for followers, it's almost like you don't have ears or you don't have eyes. All you have is where you're feeling the pressures at the hand or the body. So for followers, it's very important that you put all your energy to where he's touching you and not listening to our voices necessarily, okay? Let's go ahead and try that with music. Leaders, what we're gonna do is go into closed position and lead her 4 times by ourselves. We're not gonna move our feet. And then 4 times more with our feet, okay? Let's do it with music.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A 5, 6, 7, and a back step, side, side, and 2, side,
I'm
side.
feeling a push-pull, side, side, and a push-pull.
Now we join in, and a back step, side, side, to the back step, side, side. Let's just continue on and go ahead and keep this basic. Two more. And the last one, step, step.
Good.
Fantastic.
Next.
Now we're going to go ahead and try an open position. And as you remember, in order for me to transmit what I want her feet to do, I need to push against her hand and create a pressure at her palm.
Follows, we need to meet that pressure so that we're engaging our frame.
Again, as we did in closed position, leaders, we're going to go ahead and just give her that push-pull to the side without moving our feet ourselves. It's going to look like this. And push, pull, step, step, and a push, pull, step, step, and a push, pull, step, step. Let's go ahead and do it together. We'll do 4 with the music. And leaders, you're not going to move your feet. And then go ahead and continue adding our feet, okay? 4 without footwork, leaders, first. Just lead. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And a 5, 6, 7, push, back step, 1, 2. Push, a pull, 1, 2. Push, a pull, 1. Last time, push, a pull, 1. Now we join in, and a back step, 1, 2. And a back step, 1, 2. Two more. Last one. And stop.
Great. This might be another good time to stop the tape to go ahead and practice the basics in both the closed position and the open position, because from this point forward, we're going to start to put together combinations and learn interesting ways to get from one position to the other.
Now that we know how to do the closed position basic and the open position basic, we're going to show you how to transition between the two fairly easily. When you're in closed position, after the back step, you can go ahead and use those 2 steps to separate away from each other. And when you're in open position, as you do that back step, you can go ahead and help her by pulling her forward a little bit and move towards each other. So what we're going to do first is go ahead and start in closed position, because it's a nice place to begin any kind of dance. And we're going to do 4 basics. In the middle of the 4th basic, we're going to go ahead and separate from each other. And then we're going to do 4 basics in open position. On the 4th basic, on the open position, we're going to go ahead and lead in towards each other. It's going to look like this. 5, 6, 7, we have a rock step. 1, 2, 2, 2. And 3, 2, and 4, 2, go away. Now 3, 1, 2, and 3. On the 4th one, we go ahead and come towards each other. and begin again.
And follows, once again, it's not a visual lead. I actually feel a change of pressure. From the transition from the closed to the open after the rock step, his hand actually leaves my back, so there is now room for me to step back. And conversely, on the way in, after the rock step, I feel a pull at the fingertips that's more than just the regular pull for the basic, which brings my momentum forward, and we're back into closed. So let's try it with music.
Okay. Starting in closed position. 4 basics.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A 5, 6, 7, and a rock step. And 2. And 3. And 4, release her. And 1. And 2. And 3. This time pull her in. And pull her in. And 1. And 2. And 3. And release her. And 1. And 2. And 3. This time pull her in.
All right.
Great.
So there are a lot of other ways to get in and out of closed position, and one of our favorites is a variation of the tuck turn, and it's called under the arch, and we'll show it to you a couple times. Then we're going to go through the shape of the move, not worrying about the footwork. Then we will take each partner's footwork and break that down for you, and then we'll get a chance to practice it all together in combination with moves you already know.
Okay. Let's begin by showing you what it looks like. This is called under the arch. Looks like this. Very good. Let's begin by just showing you the shape of it. So leaders, what we're going to do is go ahead and lift up our left hand to the up towards your left. And what you want to think about, leaders, is making a straight line from your shoulder down there. You're going to look down that line, and you're going to lift the hand up, and with your right hand, leaders, you're going to go ahead and give a friendly push under the arch.
Follows, at this point, you just want to walk through and follow that lead, and we'll worry about the footwork later.
Yep, don't worry about the footwork. Again, leaders, lift up that arm to your left, give her a small push through, and out she goes. Now, sometimes there's a little bit of difficulty as to how your hand ends up. Sometimes it ends up on top like this. We don't really like that so much, but it's all right if it does. But we'll show you one way to not have that happen. Leaders, what we're going to do is go ahead and take our fingers, 2 of our fingers, and place it into her palm. Not into her fingers, but actually into her palm. Our hand will wrap around the outside of her hand just a little bit. As we lift up the hand,
Follows, what you want to make sure is that as he lifts the hand, that the pinky is what's on top. That's what's pointing towards the ceiling. In addition, you don't want to grip him at all. You want to make sure that you have this nice loose hook, and at the same time, you don't want to flatten out. This hook shape will help keep connection through the turn.
as she goes under and her hand starts to come around, leaders, you want to think about taking your wristwatch and turning it under.
At the same time, follows. You want to make sure that your fingers continue their path downwards back to that neutral position. You don't want to turn your wrist at all or again flatten out your hand. You want to keep connected and aim for that original starting position.
Let's try that a couple times, just the shape again, concentrating on the hand. Again, leaders, your fingers will be in her palm. Lift it up, push her through, and rotate your wrist down. One more time. Lift up that hand, push her through, and rotate the hand down. Good. Now let's talk about the women's footwork.
Follows, in keeping with the 6-count rhythm we've already learned, you're going to use that to move through the turn. And you're going to begin with the rock step, as always, and that will push you back on your right foot for the quick rock step. You're going to follow the lead as he brings his hand into that hip that brings you forward down the line onto your right foot. At this point, you wait for the lead, which is a push on your back, in which you rotate on your right foot, step down onto your left. That's your second slow. And then you'll get another rock step. So when we put it together a little bit faster, it's A right, left, right, pivot, step onto the left, and a rock, step.
Okay, together with the leaders, what we're thinking about is first giving her a very special rock step. Because when we first begin, she'll be directly in front of us. And what we want to do is open her up. That means that we're going to use our right hand on the inside part of her back and give her a small push, or pull rather, and open her rock step up. Now notice that she is open going towards the line. Now what we're going to do is use our left hand and bring her forward and bring the hand by our hip. That's the first step after the rock step. On the second step, we're going to go ahead and lift the hand at the same time, pushing with our right hand to finish the second step and push into the rock step. Now, just as a note, when we talk about the rhythm, it's oftentimes we talk about 2 steps. So a rock step and 2 steps. So in the basic, it's this: rock step, 1 step, 2 step. And we'll always refer to that when we show you new moves. In this instance, for the followers, it's going to be
Rock, step, 1 step, pivot, 2 step, rock, step.
Okay, let's go ahead and try that together. Leaders, concentrate on just doing the lead. Don't worry about your footwork right now. Again, your hand should be the inside of her back. Should be facing each other. Going to give her that rock step. Hand goes by your hip on the first step, and then you lift it up and push her through on the second step. Let's try it together. 5, 6, 7, 8. Rock, step, hip, push her out, and a rock step. Now let's add the footwork, leaders. Our footwork will just basically be the basic in place: rock, step, side, side. Okay, let's try this together. 5, 6, 7, and rock, step, hip, push her through. Now rock, step. Once again. 5, 6, 7, and a rock, step, hip, push her through. Now rock, step. Very good.
Good, so we're going to go ahead and put that into combination. We'll start with 2 basics in closed position, and then the under the arch turn out, 2 basics in open position, and then you're going to pull her back into closed. It'll look like this.
2 basics in closed, 6, 7, and a rock, step, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Now the under the arch, rock, step, 1, 2. Now 2 basics, rock, step, 1, 2. One more, rock, step, 1. On the third one, we're going to go ahead and pull her in, back into closed, and repeat the sequence. Let's try it with music together.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
A 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and a rock, step, 1, 2, and a rock step. This time we go, and a rock, step, 1, 2. Now 2 basics. Number 2. Now pull her into close. Now 2 basics. Now the tuck under the arch, and a rock, step, 1. Push her under, back step, 1, 2. Now take her to closed. Pull, 1, 2. 2 basics. This time we take her to under the arch. Rock, step, hip, push her out. Rock, step. Beautiful. Thank you. Now that you've learned the basics in open position and closed position, we're going to go ahead and show you some turns in open position. Now, the most important thing in open position, leaders, is that you actually don't turn her like you may have seen before. You don't want to wrap your arm around her head. Rather, the most important thing is that you want to pull her forward. You want to see that she has momentum going forward, okay? And that momentum comes from, after you do that back step, that your fingertips have this very good connection in which you can lead her forward. That's the most important part. For followers,
This is, again, important that you follow the lead and take your momentum in the direction of the lead. You don't want to stop short at any point. Your leader is going to depend that you're going to follow through the signal that he's given you.
So the move that we're going to do first is something called a side pass. And it very well illustrates how she has her momentum moving through, even though I'm not still touching her hand. It looks like this. Back step, 1, 2, and a back step, 1, 2. Things to notice on this, leaders, is that after I give her that initiation forward, she continues through. Okay? Now we're just going to do the shape of it first. And what we're going to do is just have the connection at the fingertips. Leaders, you're going to draw her forward. And followers, what direction are you going to be turning?
You're going to be stepping forward first and then following through by turning counterclockwise or to your left.
And leaders, we're just going to watch her the whole time. So again, the shape looks like this. Okay? So leaders, after you give her a small pull, you're going to give her a little bit of a push to the side so she knows to turn. Okay? Let's try that together. We're going to go ahead and just do the shape. Don't worry about the feet. Give her a small pull, give her a small push to the side, and change places. Again, pull and change places. One thing to notice, as an all open position moves, she's moving in a straight line. And leaders, you're pretty much getting out of the way. So let's go ahead and do this with footwork. The way the footwork is going to work is we're going to have the push and, very importantly, pull. Okay? Then we take one step forward, do a quarter turn. Followers are going to turn a quarter, and leaders as well. And the second step is going to face each other like this, to the rock step.
So once again, when you slow that down, you'll see that our first step is the traveling step because the goal is to change places with your partner. The second step is much smaller. It's more of a pivot where you realign and face your partner.
Looks like this. Push, pull, travel, and face your partner in a position that you can go ahead and give her that push again. Rock step. Now this would be the wrong way to do it. If you took two traveling steps, you might end up a little bit too far away from each other, and then you can't give that back step. Okay, so it's very important to take one step forward and then the second step to travel. Let's go ahead and try that together. 5, 6, 7, and push, pull, one step, two step, rock step. Okay, let's go ahead and put that into a combination. We're going to do 2 basics, and then we're going to go ahead and do 2 right side passes, and then 2 basics.
Yep, we're going to try that once, first without music, and we'll actually turn so that the leaders, this is from your perspective.
5, 6, 7, and a rock step, 1, 2, and a rock step, 1. This time we go, and a pull, right side pass, again, pull, right side pass, and a rock step, 1, 2, and a rock step, 1, 2. Okay, let's go ahead and try it with music. A 5, 6 basic and a rock step, 1, 2, and a rock step, 1, 2, the right side pass, pull, 1, 2, again, pull, 1, 2, basic, rock step, 1, 2, and a rock step, 1, 2, again, pull, 1, 2, right side pass, 1, 2, and a rock step, 1, 2.
Great, so follows. You'll never have to worry about what direction to turn in. You're always going to be following the lead. Your direction will be set by the lead, which brings it to his right side, which will turn you counterclockwise. Through the right side pass and through this next move, which is called the underarm turn, and sometimes it's called a she goes under, but we're going to stick to the terminology underarm turn. It looks like this. You'll notice we're using the same footwork, and once again we're changing places, and it's directed by the lead.
Okay. This is exactly the same thing as a right side pass, except, leaders, you're going to be continuing to hold on to her hands. And if we do it very slowly, you'll notice that our hands rotate within one another, so nobody's grabbing each other's fingers. So as it goes right over her head, and we go trade places, we still hold on to the hands. Okay, once again, very slowly to there. Okay, for followers?
Followers, what you're going to do is, again, wait for that pull as it brings you forward. And as you come above, what you want to do is resist the temptation to push the connection up. It only needs to just pass above your head. There's also no need to duck because at all times in this turn, the leader can see you. So he'll be sure to take his arm just above your head.
Okay, let's try this together. Now, followers, what you want to think about is once the leader leads her forward and brings the hand up slightly to the right, she's going to pass by the right side of her arm. Okay? So let's do this together. Here we go. Pull her forward, bring your hand to the right. Followers, pass your right side of your arm. Again, pull her forward, followers past the right side of your arm. And there you go.
Great, so when we add the footwork, again, it works off that basic rhythm, quick, quick, slow, slow. Leaders are going to initiate the back step with the push, rock, and on the second quick, you've got that tension at the fingertips to begin the lead, which is a pull up to the right shoulder. And you step forward as your traveling step. Follows, I stepped on my right, and leaders step on their left. And then we follow through, pivot, and take our second step.
To the
Rock step.
Okay. Let's go ahead and put this into a combination. We'll do 2 basics and then 2 underarm turns. With music.
1, 2, 3.
A 5, 6 basic and a rock step. 1, 2. Again, rock step. Here we go. Underarm turn and pull her forward. 1, 2. And a rock pull. 1, 2. Basic rock step. 1, 2. And a rock step. 1, 2. Underarm pull. 1, 2. And a pull. 1, 2. Last 2 basics and we'll stop. 1 more basic.
So what we get to do now is put that all together, all the moves that we know so far. It'll be a combination that starts with 2 basics in open position, 1 right side pass, 1 underarm turn. You're back in open position to start again. It looks like this. 2 basics. Here's the second one. Leads. Get ready to lead with a pull right side pass and then underarm turn. We'll show you once again from the leader's perspective.
2 basics, 5, 6, 7, and back step. 1, 2, and a back step. 1. Now the side pass, push, pull. 1. Now the underarm turn, pull, and 1, 2, and the rock step. Very good. Now, one very important thing is, leaders, if you ever let go of the followers, it's very important for the followers to know that her right hand will always be extended for the leaders, okay? So followers, your right hand will always be extended towards the leaders for him to capture. And later what you'll find, leaders, is maybe you catch with the left hand, and maybe you catch with the right hand. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about that down on in the tape, okay? So let's go ahead with music, 2 basics, a right side pass, and then the underarm turn, and then we'll repeat that combination.
1, 2, 3.
A 5, 6 basic and a rock step. 1, 2, and a rock step. 1, right side pass, pull. 1, 2, underarm, pull. 1, 2 basics and a rock step. 1, 2, and a rock step. Right side pass to the pull. 1, 2, and the underarm. 1, 2. Last 2 steps. Hey. We're going to go ahead and move on to 2 moves in which the leader gets to turn. He's kind of the focus point on this one. The first one is going to be called the Waistslides, and the shape of it is like this. Well, first we'll demonstrate it. It looks like this. Back step, 1, 2, and a back step, 1, 2, and a back step. When we do the shape, leaders, again, as in all these open moves, we're going to lead her forward. And then as she comes forward, we're going to go ahead and turn towards our left and place her hand on our right hip. And she's going to keep that hand on you all the way around down to the hand. So go ahead and try this with us. Lead her forward. Leaders, you turn to the left. Make sure that your right arm goes over her arm. Place your hand on your hip, and she keeps that hand all the way around down to the hand.
Let's try the shape a couple more times.
Okay.
And you'll notice as we come around that the leaders should have their arms lower than the followers so that when we reconnect, you can get right back into that starting position.
Great. Let's go ahead and add the footwork to this. The footwork will always be the same. Leaders, again, you want to make sure that you lead her forward for that first step, okay? So watch once, and then we'll do it together. 6, 7, and a back. Pull 1 step, 2 step, and a rock step. And what you should notice as we do these steps is that the leaders are first going to take a quarter turn to his left. And then with the second step, he's going to face his partner and then back into the rock step.
Followers, for this turn, your first step goes forward and then you pivot to face your partner. a rock, step, step forward on the right, turn and face your partner, step onto the left, and you're ready for the next move.
Okay, let's try the whole thing from just one time through, an open position, and then we'll go ahead and put it with the basics. One time through, 5, straight to the waist slide. 6, 5, 6, 7, push, pull, 1 step, 2 step, and a rock step. Okay?
Great.
Go ahead and try that on your own a few times if you'd like to stop the tape. But we're going to go ahead now.
And put it in combination. We're going to do 2 basics and 2 waist slides just to drill the new move. Here we go.
1, 2, 3.
A 5, 6, 7, and basic. Again, basic. Waist slide leads a push-pull.
2
1,
times.
2.
1 more.
Basic. Waist slide.
1 more.
Good. Now one more time all the way through. Try it on your own.
The move we're going to do right now is called the he goes. It looks like this. Back step, 1 step, 2 step, back step, 1 step, 2 step, back step. It's very similar to the waist slide. The only difference is instead of placing her hand on my hip, I'm going to go ahead and raise that hand up and duck under it myself. So the same thing is true for all the open positions. After the back step, you're going to pull her forward. So it's going to look like this. Back step, I pull her forward. On that first step, I'm going to go ahead and duck under that hand and go to the second step and rock step.
So let's try that shape a few times. Remember, lead, initiate it with the pull. Follows, think of going forward first and then turning to face your partner.
Okay, leaders, now go ahead and draw her forward. You turn to your left and go ahead and take a little duck under and end up changing places. Again, pull her forward, do a little small duck under. When you're as tall as I am, you gotta duck a lot, so go ahead and try that again.
Yeah, I'm really 6'5", actually.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add that with the footwork, okay? Once without, and then we'll do it with you guys together. Just watch the first time. We have the push, pull, and as she steps forward on that first foot, I'm going to go ahead and begin to lift her arm up towards my left, okay? Now, it's very important that you lead the hand up to the left, because if you bring it straight forward, she might get confused and want to turn herself. So make sure she takes that first step forward, then lift up the arm, and then go ahead and duck underneath that, second step, and a rock step. Okay? Let's do that together. 5, 6, just one time through. 5, 6, 7, and the push, pull, 1 step, 2 step, and a rock step. Good. Let's go ahead and put that in combination with 2 basics. We'll do 2 basics, 2 he goes, 2 basics, 2 he goes. All right, let's hit it.
1, 2, 3.
A 5, 6, 7, and a back step basic. Now the he goes, pull, 1, 2. Again, pull, 1, 2. Basic, rock step, 1, 2. And a back step, 1. Now the he goes, pull, 1, 2. And a pull, 1, 2. Basic, rock step, 1, 2. Back step, 1, 2. And a stop. Perfect. Now we're going to put the waist slide and the he goes together. We're going to start with 2 basics, do the waist slide, and then the he goes, and then 2 basics, waist slide, he goes. It looks like this. Let's demonstrate it first, and then you can do it with us. We have 2 basics, side, side. Again, waist slide now. We have the pull, 1, 2. Now the he goes, 1, 2. 2 basics, and then we start over again. Okay? Let's do it together with music.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A 5, 6, 7, and a back step, side, side, and a back step, waist slide, give her a pull, pull, 1, 2. Now the he goes, 1, 2 basics, back step, 1, 2, and a back step, waist slide this time, to the pull, 1, 2. Now the he goes, 1, 2, 2 basics, and we'll end it right here. do da. Hey. Very good. Okay, so what we're going to do now is put the whole open position moves that we learned together. Okay? Again, we're going to begin with 2 basics. We're going to do the side pass and then the underarm turn, and then again 2 basics and the waist slide and he goes. It looks like this. 2 basics. Now the side pass, immediately to the underarm turn, to 2 basics, to the waist slide, immediately to the he goes, and then 2 basics. Okay? Here we go.
1, 2, 3.
A 5, 6, 7, 2 basics. Push a back step. Side pass. Now the underarm turn. 2 basics and a back step. 1, 2, and a back step. 1. Waist slide, pull. He goes, pull. One more time through. Back step. Side pass. Pull. 1, 2, and an underarm turn. 2 basics. Now the waist slide. To the he goes. And the last 2 basics and a rock step. 1. Last one. Great.
So in this section, we're going to introduce a new variation of open position, and that is called right to right or cross hand hold. So you can begin by just shaking your partner's hand, right hand to right hand. It's only a change for the leaders who have now extended their right hand, and you're just going to transfer that handshake into the swing hold you were using with the left hand. So it looks a lot like this.
Okay. The 2 moves that we're going to learn in this position is first going to be the right side pass. Now you'll notice that this move is similar to the left to right hand, right side pass, but it's just with the right hand. Okay. The second move we're going to learn is called the skater, and it looks like this: rock step, 1, 2, and a rock step. Okay. I'll show you that one more time. So we have the side pass, 1, 2, and a rock step, 1, 2, and a rock step. Good. Let's begin by first talking about the shape of the right side pass. Okay? Just as in the left side pass, where we draw her forward and give her a small push to the side, it's going to be the same with the right side pass. So let's do the shape together. Leaders, you're going to lead her forward and give her a small turn to your right. And you're going to trade places. And at this point, leaders, you can either catch with your right hand or your left hand. For followers?
For followers, we're going to feel the same lead with our right arm. We're going to first come forward and then turn, following the momentum of the lead, and we don't have a choice. When we're done with the turn, we should always extend the right arm. In addition, whenever a leader lets go of your arm, you should always keep it about waist level. That way it's at a predictable spot for him to pick it back up easily and not have to break his thought process because he's thinking of the next move to try and find your arm or figure out which arm. You just want to have that right arm always extended.
Okay. Let's go ahead and put some footwork into it. So we're going to start with our right to right hand, and we haven't told you how to get there yet, but we will very soon. Okay. We're going to give her that rock step, push, and immediately give her that pull forward and take those 2 steps, 1, 2, and for now we're going to go ahead and reconnect with the right hand and a rock step. Okay. Let's try that together. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and a push, pull, 1 step, 2 step, and a push, pull. Good. Now when we put this into a sequence, what we're going to do is start with 2 basics, okay? But importantly, on the second basic, we're going to change hands. When do you change hands? Is at the first slow, okay? So watch very carefully. We have the first basic, 1, 2. In the second basic, we're going to change the hands. Rock, step, 1, change the hand, 2, now ready to give her that rock step into that side pass. All right? So let's try that together. We'll do it without music first, so just so you have an understanding of how to change the hand. Remember, the second basic, you're going to change the hand. So we'll do 2 basics, 2 right side passes, 2 basics.
Yep, and leaders, on the first right side pass, make sure you pick up with the right arm so you can repeat the cross hand pass. On the second right side pass, which we'll show you now, rock, step, 1 step, you're actually going to extend your left arm so you're back in open position, ready to lead a basic. So when we put it all together, 2 basics, rock, step, 1 step, 2 step, second basic, switch the hand, cross hand side pass, extend the right arm, again, extend the left. So we'll try that a couple times with music.
Okay, here we go. 2 basics.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A 5, 6, 7, and 2 basics. And change the hand. 2 side passes. 1, 2. Catch with the right. Now catch with the left. 2 basics. Change the hand. Right side pass. Change. Catch the right. Now change the hand. Now 2 basics. Now change the hand. Keep the right hand. And the last 2 basics. Now, doesn't matter if you do it on a basic or you do it in an underarm turn or a waist slide, it will always be the same. During those slows, you will go ahead and change the right hand. So let's pretend as though we're doing it from a waist slide. Here we go. Rock, step, 1, change the hand, and a rock, step. So you have several different options in changing from your left to your right hand.
Yes, and leaders, it's important to really wait till after the rock step, because it's on that rock step that you're starting her momentum and starting a lead. So that needs to be very clear. Then on the second slow, once you've got her momentum going, then you have the freedom to change the hand. And follows, we don't have to do anything to help this process. Just always keep your right hand out, and he will decide which hand he's going to grab yours with.
Yes, so more specifically, you change to your right hand on the second slow. So once again, we have rock, step, first slow, change the hand on the second slow to push for the rock, step. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the skater, okay? The skater looks like this. Back step, 1, 2, and a rock step, 1, 2, and a back step, 1, 2, and a back step, 1, 2. Yes? It's called a skater because you are so that's why it's called a skater. Okay. So let's just practice the shape. What we're going to do, leaders, is going to have your right to her right hand. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and draw her forward towards our hip and place her hand on her hip here. Okay? Let's try that one more time. Try from this angle. And again, we're going to draw her forward and place her hand on her hip.
Follows. At this point, this is another great example of momentum. You're going to follow that lead through until you reach a stopping point. That is his arm. So what you don't want to do is stop yourself, which would be cutting it short. Now there's no connection between you and your partner's arm. There's too much space. So what you're going to do is follow that pull all the way in till you fit into his arm and you've come to his right hip.
Okay. Now when you're doing this together, what often happens is that if you hold on to her hand or you don't let your hand move, then her arm gets all twisted up and everything like that.
It's not
bad.
fun.
She doesn't like that so much. So leaders, what we're going to do is go ahead and take our thumb and let it rotate to the bottom of her hand like that. Okay? So as she comes in, my hand is going to rotate. I'm going to place her hand on her own hip like that. Okay? So let's try this shape together. Go ahead, leaders. Think about your thumb rotating over the top of her hand as you pull her in. Pull her in, rotate the hand. Followers go all the way back into his arm. Okay? And try it again. Lead her forward. Let your hand rotate. Place your hand on her hip to the end. Good. Now with the footwork, what we're going to do is go ahead and give that rock step. And on that rock step, we're going to pull her immediately, her hand to her hip. And we're going to, leaders, for your footwork, we're just going to stay in place. Right now, all we want you to do is go to the closed skater position. Looks like this. And a back step, 1, 2. And we'll stop right there. Okay, let's try that together.
Good, and follows to break that down. You're going right, left on your rock step. Your first step, like all the other turns, is forward, and you're going to pivot to take your second step to move all the way into his arm.
Okay, let's do that a couple times without music. 5, 6, 7, and a push, pull, 1 step, 2 step. At this point, leaders, your hand should be at her hip. Followers, you should have your back in his arm. Okay, go ahead and push her out. One more time. 5, 6, 7, and a pull. 1, 2. Great. Now what we need to talk about, before she escapes, is how to get her from this skater position back to open position. And what you'll notice now is I've already taken her hand, and that naturally happens as she rotates in. I'm going to place my hand in front of me, and her hand stays up, so we'll end up here. When you go ahead and push her out from the skater position, you're going to do the same type of rotating rock step as we did in the under the arch. That is, you're going to take her hip and open her up just a little bit. Then you're going to have her step forward using your right hand, making her step forward here. And with your forearm, you're going to give her a small push out and back into the rock step. Okay? Once again, from the closed position, let's try this together. We're going to start with a rotating rock step and then give her the step forward and then give her a small push out with our forearm. Very slowly, 5, 6, 7, and a rock step 1 with your forearm. Give her a small push out, 2, to the rock step. Very good. Okay. So let's go ahead and try that whole thing together, coming into the skater and going out into the skater, into the open position, just once. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, and a push, pull. 1, 2, and a rock step. 1, 2, and a rock step.
Good, and follows. It's so important to wait for the lead on any turn where he's bringing you into closed position. So coming in is no problem. Right here, wait for that rotating rock step, feel the push on your back to bring you forward and down the line, and wait for that push on your back to rotate and turn. And I know in a lot of classes and workshops, follows always ask me, well, how do I know which direction to turn? And it's really indicated by the leader's arm. I have no choice at this point but to follow the momentum that's created at this point. He's pushing forward, which turns my shoulders and my center of gravity as I unwind back out into this crossed hand position.
Okay, so I think what we'll try now is with a little bit of music, we're just going to go ahead and do skater in, skater out, skater in, skater out, till we're very nauseous. Okay, here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A 5, 6, 7, and a rock. 1, 2, and a rock step. 1, 2, rock step. 1, 2, rock step. 1, and a pull. Rock step. 1, 2, and a rock step. Rock step. 1. Last time. Pull. 1, 2, rock step. 1, 2. Great. Okay, let's put the whole thing together. We're only going to be working on these right hand leads. So we're going to begin with doing 2 basics, changing the hand on the second basic, and going straight to the skater. And then we're going to take her out and go immediately into the side pass. And then 2 basics. It looks like this. First basic, rock step, 1, 2. Rock step, change the hand. Now into the skater right away. 1, 2. Now we send her out and immediately into the side pass. Pick up with your left hand leaders and then do it again. 1, 2, basic, 1. Change the hand into the skater. Send her out. Now a side pass. 1, 2, and a rock step. Okay, let's do it with music.
1, 2, 3.
A 5, 6, 7, and a rock step. Change the hand. Now take her in. Rock step, 1, 2, and a rock step. Send her out. Side pass. Pull. 1, 2. Now the basic. Change the hand. Skater. Send her out. And a rock step. 1. Side pass. Basic. 1 more basic. Change the hand. Take her to skater. Send her out. Side pass. And the last two basics, rock step 1, 2, and a rock step 1, 2.
In this section, we're going to learn a new move. It's called a progression using kick steps. And this is nice because it breaks the pattern of always turning the follow. It's also a good step to use to get to a different part of the dance floor if you see a clearing. So what we'll do is we'll show you what it looks like now. This is a progression with kick steps. And it looks like this. One more time. Looks like this. Rock step, kick step, kick step, kick step, kick step, kick, and turn her out.
Very good. Okay. The progression is composed of kick steps. And when we do the kick steps, we're going to be going down a line. So what we'll do now is go ahead and go down a line. So you want to imagine that the line between you is like this. Leaders and followers, we're going to begin with a rock step. And it's going to be a rotating rock step, one that goes open. From here, we're going to kick down the line, step, kick, step, kick, step. Let's try that together. 5, 6, 7, and a rock step. Kick, step, kick, step, kick, step, kick, step, kick, step.
Now, it's important to keep in mind when you're doing kick steps in Lindy hop or swing that you're not kicking across your own center. So you want to think of the line going for the follows, switch sides. For the follows, our line is just off of our left, and to leaders, it's just off your right. And you're going to kick down the line. So what you really do first is turn your hip and then extend the energy through your foot. What will also help for styling is to bend that supporting leg so you're not going on a straight leg with strong pivots. So you want to first, after the rock step, turn the hip and then step. Turn the hip, step, and hip, step.
Let's try it one more time, away. Another thing to think about is that the foot that you're standing on is a foot that pivots, okay? So like Julie said, you don't want to try to cross over yourself like this. Instead, you want to pivot your body so your whole body is facing your partner, and then it's facing away from your partner, okay? Let's try that. Let's do 5 kick steps after the rock step. 5, 6, 7, and a rock step. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Now in leading this move, it's very important that the leaders have very good connection around the follower's waist. There are 2 basic points of connection that we're going to be leading from. One is this side of her waist, and the other one is with our forearm on this side of her back. Okay? So when we go ahead and lead her, we're going to do the rock step, and with this hand, we're going to push her foot forward. And with our forearm, we're going to push her foot forward again into the open part. Okay? So without the follower, my arm is going to look like this. We have a rock step in, then push her out, in, then push her out. Okay? Let's go ahead and try that with 5 kick steps. Leaders, when you lead that first initial rock step, you're going to begin by taking her waist and pulling it back for that rotating rock step. Here we go. Without music. 5, 6, 7, pull, rock step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good.
Let's try it one more time. Again, follows, you're really looking for the 2 different pressures on your back. To kick forward and towards your partner, you want to feel a pressure on the outside. To kick forward, and then to turn away, you want to feel that pressure. Look for that pressure on your left side of your back to get you to pivot the opposite direction.
Let's go ahead and try it with music, and we'll go away and then towards you and away and towards you. Only 5 kicks. Here we go. A 5, 6, 7, and a rock step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's go again. And a 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and a rock step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one last time. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, lead her back and in, push her out, and in, push her out, and in. Okay, so now we need to show you how to get out of this. And the way we're going to get out of this progression is by doing a tuck or an underarm turn. The underarm turn, to remind you, looks like this. 1, 2, and a rock step. How we learn to get from closed position to open position. Now, the similarity between doing the under the arch and the progression going out is that in the under the arch, rock step, she steps forward first. Then we lift the hand up and we push her through. When we do the progression, it's the same way. She's always going forward and towards. So at any point, leaders, when you're both facing each other like this, you could go ahead and lift this arm up and push her out. Okay? We're going to happen to do it 3 times. We're going to kick inward 3 times. On the third one, we're going to lift that hand out and push her out. It's going to look like this. 6, 7, and a rock step. 1, and 2, last time, and 3, lift the hand up, push her out, and a rock step.
Follows, this is another case where we're talking about momentum. We start the step using kick steps, and what you're going to use are those same kick steps to move through the under the arch turn. So we'll show you that slowly. We'll break it down. So this is our last kick in, rock, step, kick, step. And when that lead comes, instead of just stepping through, I'm going to kick, step out of the turn. We'll show you once again.
From the entirety. And rock step 1, and 2, last time, and 3, step, kick, step. It's both the same for the leaders and the followers, rock, step. So let's try that very slowly together. 5, 6, 7, 8, rock step 1, and 2, last time, lift the hand up, 3, lift the hand, rock step.
Let's do it once more without music.
5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and a rock step 1, and 2. This time, lift the hand up. 3, push her out, rock step. Very good. So what we'd like to do now is go ahead and make a small combination. After we do the progression and send her out, we'll do 2 basics, and then take her back in. It looks like this. We have rock step 1, 2, 3, send her out, 2 basics, and then we send her back in, closed.
And at that point, you could start the progressions again.
We don't have enough room, so we won't do that.
Hopefully you do.
Okay, can we take it a little bit slower this time?
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
A 5, 6, 7, and progression. 1, 2, this time out, and 3, and a rock step, rock step. Now we're gonna take her back in. Keep going, guys. Let's try it again. Here we go. And 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, and a rock step. 1, and 2, this time out, lift the hand, push her out, and a rock step, and a rock step. Excellent. Now that we've learned open position and cross hand position and progression, we're going to try to put all those moves together in one longer combination, okay? And this combination is going to look like this. We'll start in closed position. We'll do 2 basics, rock step 1, 2, and a rock step 1, 2, and go ahead and do the progression, and a rock step 1, and 2, and 3, send her out. Immediately, we're going to go into the underarm turn. Now we'll do 2 basics, rock step 1, 2, and a rock step 1, 2, and then we'll do the waist slide, push, pull, 1, 2. Now we change the hand to our right. We'll do a right side pass from here immediately, rock step 1, 2, and we'll do 2 basics. And then we'll take her back into closed position and start again. Okay? Let's go ahead and do the whole thing as a demonstration first, and we'll do it together with music. 5, 6, 7, and basic, and a basic, and a progression, 1, and 2, send her out, underarm turn, 2 basics, and a rock step, 1, and a rock step, waist slide. Change the hand to your right side, a side pass, now 2 basics, and then we're going to send her back in for the closed position. Good. Okay. Let's do it with music?
Let's do it with music.
Okay. A little bit slower.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And 5, 6, 5, 6, basic, go, rock, step, 1, 2, and a rock, step, 1, progression, and a rock, step, 1,
Kick, step,
2,
step,
this time she
kick,
comes
kick,
out,
Kick through the turn.
out, and a rock, step, underarm turn, 2 basics, rock, step, 1, 2, again, rock, step, waist slide with a right side pass, rock, step, change that hand, take her in, basic, 1 more basic, now we take her into closed position and do it again, pull, 2 basics, and a rock, step, 1, 2, again, rock, step, 1, progression, and a rock, step, 1, and 2. This time out and up, out, underarm turn, rock, step, 1, 2. 2 basics, rock, step, 1, 2, and a rock, step, 1, 2. Waist slide, pull, and a 1. Change that hand, right side pass, 2 basics, rock, step, 1, 2, and a rock, step, 1. Take her in, and we'll stop. 1, 2. Ba 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 ba. Good job.
So that is a sampling of some of the moves you'll find in basic swing classes, and our hope is that you will stop the tape many times and really go over it quite a few times. Give yourself a chance to master the basics and the footwork and the leading and following, and then gradually add turn after turn after turn. And most importantly, that you go out dancing and seek out those places where you can dance with a lot of different partners, because that's one way you'll know if you're leading the moves properly and if you're following the signals properly.
I just want to emphasize one more time that this dance is all about communication through the hands, okay? And leaders, the way I think about composing my own dance while the music is going is thinking about the different positions, okay? Just as we broke it up in this videotape, we have some moves that we start in closed position, such as the basic. We have some moves that are also in closed position, such as the progression. And also, we have the tuck turn, under the arch, also known as the under the arch, a form of the tuck turn, okay? So whenever you're in closed position, leaders, you can think about doing those things. And you can review the tape and remember what moves you learned in open position, and then also in cross hand. And that's the way you're going to be able to create your own combinations.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you got a wonderful introduction into swing and leading and following and some of the different moves and different positions. And we, of course, encourage you to go out and really try this out on the dance floor, because that's where you truly reinforce your skills as leaders and followers.
Now when you're out there on the dance floor, oftentimes, because swing's so great, it's going to be pretty crowded. So be very careful of your area and your space. And if you happen to bump into somebody or step on somebody, always say sorry, okay? No matter what's happening, just say sorry.
And always make sure to, again, appreciate where the music is coming from, if it's from the DJ or, more importantly, from the band. Take the time in between dances to really listen to the music that's inspiring you to get out there and dance.
And social dancing is a very social thing. Swing dancing is a very social thing. So feel free to go ahead and ask anybody in the dance floor, whether you're a woman or you're a man, just ask somebody, because they'll always say yes.
Yes, and for leaders and followers both, watch out for your partner. If it's really crowded and he's sending you into a move and it looks like you're going to bump into someone, give him the tap on the back that says, abort, no room. And at the same point, leaders, look where you're sending your follow to keep her safe and comfortable and happy.
That's the most important thing.
And we'd like to leave you with a little dancing and, of course, music from the band. And you'll see moves from this tape and also moves from upcoming videos for Lindy Hop. Thank you so much.
Okay, that was really bad.
That was bad. We got to do that again. Leader and follower.
Cut. And we were going to start with the different positions that we're at. So first, let's start that again.